Welcome back to another video. My name is Abby, and today we are talking about the 3 steps to change your self-concept. Now, if you're interested in more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you know when new videos come out. And if you like this video, go ahead and click like. It really helps to let me know you like this content, and it's a great way to support this channel. So, 3 steps to change your self-concept. Now, the first step is going to be to understand what is a self-concept. Essentially, inside your mind, you have a cybernetic mechanism. A great example is a thermostat. A thermostat in your home, what do? You put it at 70 degrees. If it gets above that, something's going to kick on to bring it back down to 70. Now, if it gets below 70, depending on what season it is, it's going to bring it back to 70. It wants to stay on a set point, and it's going to behave around that set point, never going too far. You never see a thermostat saying, you know what, today I'm going to be an 80-degree thermostat. No matter what it's set point on, you don't see it acting outside those parameters. The same thing is happening in your mind. You have an idea about yourself. You've given certain ideas permission and consent to be true to you. That could be that you don't deserve a lot of money. That could be that you're not somebody who's lovable. That could be you don't offer enough value in the world, so you don't see that financial exchange coming back to you. Whatever it is, you have a set point in your mind, and you will never act out of that. And sometimes you see this when people lose weight. They might lose 20, 30, 50 pounds, and they're doing really good, and then something suddenly throws them off. Or maybe somebody's really changed their life. Maybe they got a new job, and financially they're doing so much better than they've ever done. And suddenly something happens, and they get off track, and they eventually go right back to where they started. This is because, yes, it is possible to act outside of your constructed box of your self-concept, who you see yourself to be. However, eventually you want to go back to that set point, just the same as when that thermostat started getting up. Maybe it got to 75, 76, but then it's going to come right back, because what is designed to do is stay in that set point. Now, your subconscious mind is not a judgmental mind. It doesn't care, and it doesn't value what thoughts you believe and give consent to be true. It only makes sure that you act within those parameters. That's why it is possible to change your self-concept. That's why it's possible to make real change. The only way you can do it is if you get into your subconscious mind and start reprogramming yourself. Most of the beliefs that you run off right now come between your last trimester of your biological mom and 7 years old. The reason why is because you're in theta brainwave. What that means is whatever you're seeing, it goes straight into your subconscious mind. So the way you saw people being treated, the way you were treated, the way you were either encouraged or discouraged about certain aspects of your life, that is what you are going to now be operating off of, unless you start examining what those beliefs are. What in your life are you not currently satisfied with that you'd like to change? And what beliefs that you have about yourself where you would see that as reflected in the world. Now, originally these programs that you saw were a way to help keep you safe. Maybe you saw when you acted this way, you're more accepted and you got more love and attention. That way of being is survival, basic survival. You didn't have the skills physically, financially, or even mentally and emotionally to carry yourself in the world alone. Now you have that capacity, and you need to examine what is it that you believe to be true about yourself. Again, what do you give permission about yourself to be true? Another thing about your self-concept, so yeah, you have this cybernetic mechanism inside where you have a set point. It is the picture of how you see yourself in the world, what you think is true about you and how you can be in the world. You have something else called your reticular activating system. Now, why this is important is because your brain can take in 11 million bits of information per second, take it all in. Well, your conscious brain can only process 50. So out of the 11 million bits of information per second, your conscious mind is only able to understand 50. So we have the filtration system in our head, which is your reticular activating system. So you program that to be whatever it is that you find a priority, whatever it is you find valuable and meaningful to you. If that is that you're unworthy, if that is that you never get the job you want, if that is that you're constantly rejected by people that you're interested in romantically, you will go out in the world, and even though there's 11 million bits of information, and maybe there's 1,500,000 bits that would contradict how you feel about yourself, your self-concept, you're going to pick up in those 50 bits of information the things that show you it's true, that yes, you aren't worthy enough. Yes, you are rejected. Yes, you will never get the job. You'll never have financial security. And that is called confirmation bias, that we go out into the world and we look for things unconsciously to prove our self-image of ourselves, and that just loops. You go out and you find it, oh, that's right, it is. And it fortifies that self-image of who you think you are. More importantly, who you think you can be, what your limitations are. If you're making $45,000 right now and you have a dream of making $100,000, you don't believe you have value to add to the world, you will continue to find situations, people, which are going to reflect back to you that you don't deserve that. So now that you understand how impactful and limiting your self-concept can be, and by contrast, how expanding seeing yourself differently can be in your life, the second step is going to be to start bringing awareness to your current concept. Wherever it is in your life that you're wanting to make a change, start to look and ask yourself, what would someone need to believe about themselves in order for them to find this? If it's about money and you're not making enough money to pay your bills, or maybe you just want more to have a better sense of financial security, what would someone need to believe to not be able to make more money? If it's romantic, you can't find that secure relationship. You keep finding people who let you down or who aren't very kind to you. What would someone need to believe in order for them to find this? What internal belief is essentially being reflected through this behavior? What confirmation bias are you getting through your RAS by continually finding these situations? The more you can understand that your thoughts, the more you can start taking responsibility that that internal belief is what is you're thinking about, which is what you are feeling. So it's sending out an electromagnetic signature into the universe, and your thoughts are sending out an impulse, and your deep feelings of unworthiness or rejection or being unlovable, that's bringing back that experience, and you're just repeating it over and over and over. When you take responsibility that that origin of that signal has been coming from you, you can then empower yourself to realize that you can make a change. You can start thinking new thoughts. You can start being aware of what it is you're thinking. Joseph Murphy talks about our unconscious beliefs, that we use alibis and excuses to hide them. Well, the detriment of that is if you reject it and see it as something outside of you that's just happening to you, you literally are giving away the power to make a change. Think about it. If you see somebody and they feel unworthy, but they say, no, that I don't feel unworthy, I feel totally worthy. These things outside of me just keep happening. Somebody gets picked over me and people don't see the value in me. Well, then they're powerless. They never get to do anything different than what they're doing now because they're continually getting looked over. So unconsciously, it's getting repeated to them that they're not worthy enough. But rather than really deeply asking, could it be true that I have this thought about myself, that deeply inside of me, underneath my consciousness, that I don't believe I'm worthy, that I don't believe I'm good enough? Well, what would it feel like? And we'll examine that in our next step of what we'll need to do to move out of this. But Dr. Joe Dispenza says you need to become aware of what you're unconscious to right now. And yes, that's not an easy feat, because if it were, you'd be already aware of it. Some things that you can do to help are meditation. Meditation is basically you can bring more awareness and watch yourself and observe yourself. You can go to therapy and have somebody to talk through about it. What are those behaviors, especially if you have very repetitive patterns in relationships or job experiences, or you keep meeting the same type of person to make you feel a certain way. As you start to become more aware of your current self-concept and see that your view of yourself deep inside is what is causing it, sending out the electromagnetic impulse into the universe in essentially an order form, and that is why your life looks like it does today, then you can start making a change. And the most important thing here is you can be aware of when you start making those behaviors and start thinking those thoughts, so you don't just continually have them running unconsciously. Now, the third step in changing your self-concept is to think, who do you want to be? How do you want to be in the world? Look in history or look in current day. Who is somebody that is emulating that version of you that you would want to be? Start using vivid imagination and strong emotion to be that version of you right now. The only thing that is getting in the way of you feeling that right now, whether it be having a $100,000 salary, that's going to give you a feeling. Maybe you're going to feel financially secure. Having that dream relationship, what is that going to make you feel? If you can move into the feeling without having to have that experience is going to give you permission. Give yourself permission right now. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about that when you have that electromagnetic signature and you have gratitude for an experience that you have yet to receive, you draw that experience to you. You collapse time and space so that you move those waves of potential into particles, and that's when that experience will be reflected in your 3D reality. The two big things here are very vivid intent, which comes from your thoughts, and every way that you can involve your senses. How's it going to smell? How's it going to feel? How's your new clothes going to feel? What is your car going to feel like? What is that new relationship going to be like? The more vivid you can have and really feeling it strongly in your emotions, those are the two biggest things. And to carry this feeling with you when you get up from that, to carry this feeling with you throughout the day, because you can't just leave it there. If this is the new way that you see yourself, if this is the new way that you're going to move in the world, you must do it now. You must be that version of you that you want to have in the future. You must do it now. Then you will start seeing that. You don't see the ripples and then you see the rock. You throw the rock in the water and then you see the ripples from that. Everything in your life right now is originated from you. You have the power to cause a change in your external reality by changing and shifting your self-concept, the way that you see yourself to be in the world, changing that cybernetic mechanism, which is going to expand the potential of how you see yourself in the world, who you can be in the world, and the potential of abundance that you can receive. Gratitude for it now. Gratitude is the greatest state of receivership. So start practicing what that's going to feel like right now. Give yourself the permission to feel it now and change your self-concept, which will automatically change your life. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, hit subscribe. If you haven't done so already, hit that like. Help support this channel, and I'll see you on the next one.